Hey there, fashion friends. Today is our first Thirsty Thursday Q&A. So I know it's a bit weird because I'm actually posting this episode on Sunday, but going forward, I'm going to do a bonus video every month on the second Thursday of the month, doing a Thirsty Thursday Q&A. I had it suggested by one of you. Yeah, so I just thought it'd be a fun way for us to have a drink together, get to know each other a little bit better. So I asked you guys if there were any questions that you had for me, and I had a few of you come back with some really good questions, so I'm super excited to answer them for you. Today what I'm drinking is, I'm not sure if you guys saw my vlog video and I mentioned House. So I've got a little cocktail mix of the House aperitif, the ginger yuzu, with Underwood bubbles and some Perrier, and it's actually quite nice and refreshing, nice and light and refreshing. Okay, so we have our questions and we have our drinks. So let's get started. So the first set of questions is from one of my longest subscribers, and that is Kristen Dwyer. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correct, Kristen. So the first question is, what is your background in fashion? So ever since I was like 12 years old, I was doing like fashion sketches and was like designing outfits out of toilet paper for my Barbies. So at 12 years old, I had said I want to be a fashion designer. That was all I wanted to do. I actually started my career with an action sports brand. Super lucky, and got in at the corporate office with a major brand as a sales assistant for the sales reps. So it was just sort of a jump off point. I just wanted to get in there and get in with a good company and just get the experience. So I got another job, this time as an assistant to the CEO, the national sales manager, and the VP of design. Wore many hats, but it was a really fun job because I got to do so many different things and had so many great experiences that it really exposed me to all these different aspects of the industry. Then at the end of 2007, just before the crash, I got laid off along with a lot of other people. And so I was without a job for like 9 or 10 months. Finally, after 10 months of searching and doing I don't even know how many interviews, I got a job as a stylist for a boutique fashion brand. After working for them for a while, I really kind of discovered my love for visual merchandising, for the store curating, the placement of the clothes, the aesthetic of the store, the styling the looks for the mannequins, and really fell in love with that. I always wanted to be like a fashion designer or a stylist. That was what was great about that sort of experience of losing my job and having to kind of start from ground zero. From there, I ended up moving to a major fast fashion brand, but was a really good company, was really good to me, and I learned so much there and had made so many great friends, had such great relationships. So it was such a great experience as well. But then I really, because I always had that fashion designer, in me, that love for high-end fashion, I decided to leave the fast fashion brand for a luxury designer brand. As well as that, it was a promotion in my position. So I gained amazing experience and more responsibility, and just absolutely loved that job. However, it was very stressful. There was a lot of pressure put on you, and the company itself as well was very apparent about the fact that they wanted you to prioritize them over everything else in life. And I am very much family oriented, so I put my family first. I wasn't somebody that wanted to just be married to the job. While I was there, I started to do videography as a sort of hobby, just for the blogs that I was doing on the side. And eventually I caught the attention of some of my friends who were in the creative industry and had asked me to do some work for them or for their clients. And so I started realizing I could actually make a business out of this. I could actually do this. And that was kind of my segue out of the fashion industry. Okay, so the next question she asks is, what did you do before YouTube and why did you switch? This is like a perfect storyline. So when I left the fashion industry to be a freelance videographer, I built a business for myself, and then about 6 months in or so, I got pregnant with Gus. But when he was 1 year old, we actually decided to move to Portland. And I don't think I really factored in how difficult that would be for me and my business, because when I built my videography business in Southern California, I had connections. I didn't have a little baby to take care of, and I really just had time on my side. Whereas when we moved to Portland, I had no connections. I had a 1 year old baby, 1 year old child, and just, no time. So after about 6 months of that struggle, I decided, I gotta do something. I have to be creating something. It was driving me insane. So I decided, I need to do something that I have control over, that I can have complete control over, that I don't need to go out and film other people, that I don't need permission from somebody. So that's where YouTube came into play. I was trying to figure out what sort of content to make, and my husband made a good point of, you gotta speak to what you're an expert in. And so for me, that was fashion. Once I started doing YouTube, I was hooked. I was addicted. It was serendipitous, where have you been all my life? I can't believe I haven't been doing this the whole time, sort of thing. Okay, so the next question is, what have been some challenges you have faced while creating content for YouTube? I'd say where the challenges is just actually posting the video, to know what to produce and what to publish, and what's going to be received well, what people are going to enjoy. So when you go to actually hit that publish button, it's a bit scary. I don't think that'll ever go away. So that's probably the biggest challenge of creating content. The next question she asks is, what are your hobbies? Yeah, over the years, I've had quite a few hobbies. I used to play piano, but I don't anymore. I used to paint, but I don't anymore. I used to sing. I've been drawing a lot more, where one of the things I love to draw is I love to just draw animals, sketch animals. I like to kind of capture emotion in the animals. So that's something I do. The other thing I like to draw, complete nerd bomb alert, I like to draw floor plans. So it's my dream to build our dream home someday. And so, I really enjoy drawing potential floor plans for that house. In my job as a visual merchandiser, I had to draw floor plans a lot of the time. And it was just something I really enjoyed. It was very therapeutic. Yeah. So there's that. All right. So the next few questions are from Lightly Lume. One of the questions she asks is, what is a style that you admire, enjoy, but don't wear? I pretty much appreciate all styles of fashion, but I really love, boho chic, because I just love how feminine and just elegant and flowy it is. But it's just not my style, but I love it. I love it on other people. The next question is, how did you find your personal style? Oof, that is, I could make a whole episode on that. And I should probably make a whole episode on that. I would say I've definitely had a very style evolution. In high school or, as a teenager, I was very free with my style, just very artistic, I was definitely that girl that drew designs on her jeans with her pen in class and just really had confidence with it. I wanted to be a fashion designer, so that was my passion, that was my priority. I grew up in a small town, and so there it was more like a sparkly fish in a small pond. When you move to California, you're a sparkly fish among even more sparkly fish. So you kind of start to lose a little bit of that confidence, and I definitely did. And then especially when I started to work in the fashion, I definitely lost a lot of my confidence, because you always have people kind of saying what you should be doing or what is on trend. So you kind of always second guess yourself a little bit. And I think that definitely picks away at your confidence, at your own style confidence over time. So I'd say when I actually left the fashion industry and kind of didn't have that in front of my face all the time, I started to really focus on what it was that I loved to wear, like what I really wanted to wear. And I think with that, it made me realize a lot of stuff about myself and about my style. And I started to really just own that and really just combine what, experience and confidence I had gained over the years in fashion, just with styling and everything like that. Started to kind of implement that into my own style, but in my own way. Like I didn't have to, really question it because there was nobody else around to, confuse me, I guess. Okay, the next question she has, this is a good question. Did you study fashion at university? How did you get into the business? Like I said, I moved out to California right after I graduated high school, and I was actually supposed to go to FIDM, which is the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. And so I was all set to go, everything lined up, and then at the last minute, my loans fell through, basically threw a wrench in what I was planning on doing. And so ultimately I would have had to work a full-time job as well as go to school full-time to really be able to support myself. And even with that, I don't even know if I still would have been able to actually afford school itself without the proper type of loans. So they're like, well, reapply in a year and, see if something changes, whatever. But of course what happened was I started to work, started to gain experience, started to make money, and yeah, I just never, it was like, I'll a year went by and I was like, I'll reapply next year. And I'll reapply next year. And then it was, I'll reapply when I'm 24, when I'm classed as like an independent, I'll get better loans that way. And 24 rolled around and it never happened. So not that I regret that, not that I regret what happened for me, because it worked out. I, worked really hard, gained really good work experience, and was able to climb the ladder, which I'm super grateful for. I think sometimes just having that grit and just getting to it and just getting the work done and getting the experience. I think sometimes, especially for myself, I think I learn more from experience, from just doing something myself than by sitting in a classroom or by sitting, somewhere and having somebody tell me how to do something. The next question she asks is, what films tickled your fashion fancy? So I'd say one of my all-time favorite movies is Singing in the Rain. Like the first time I saw it, I was like 7. And I think what made me love it so much, besides the songs, it was the costumes. I loved the costumes. So, and I'm a massive fan of the Roaring *20s as well. So that's definitely one that I think sticks out in my mind. And the last question she asked is, do you knit, crochet, or sew? I have tried knitting once or twice. Was never successful. And I did used to sew. My mom was a sewing whiz growing up and still is. So she taught me at a really young age how to sew. Okay, so the next question is from Carrie Wyatt. And Carrie asks, what are some tips for finding good quality pieces secondhand to curate an affordable capsule wardrobe? There are so many different sites out there now, which is great, but the one that is just Old Faithful that I've been using for years and years and years for selling and for buying is eBay. It's like a worldwide market. There's just so much stuff. If you go to like the good hipster thrift stores or like the hipster flea markets, people know what they have. So you're not going to find as good of a deal. So I think that's the thing I like about eBay versus like a lot of these more trendier sites now, resale sites there are. Is just like, I feel like you can find better stuff at a better price. Cheers to that. Okay, so we got another few questions from Victoria Ann Middleton. Her first question is, how many wears before washing your jeans? Girl. As long as absolute possible, I guess. I guess, like, to put it in perspective, for my 30-day jeans review, I wore my jeans every day for 30 days and I only washed them once. And the only reason why I actually washed them was because I sat and pee. Long story, won't get into it because if you don't have kids, you don't want to hear it. If you have kids, you know exactly what I'm talking about. For me, jeans just get better and better when they're not washed. Whenever you wash jeans, you lose fibers in it. Even if you're washing them on cold and not drying them in the dryer, you're still going to be losing some fibers. You're going to be losing some color when you wash them. I just spot clean them. You know, you can, if you need to, you can maybe do like a little bit of Febreze. It's really just up to your comfort level. Her next question is, do you ever wear dresses? If so, what type? Yeah, I don't really wear dresses. Like on a regular basis, I don't wear dresses. Saying that, I did just see like a t-shirt dress from Nike that I really want. I will wear dresses at a wedding, but even weddings, I try to get away with not. Like I've worn rompers or jumpsuits, or even another wedding that I went to last year, I wore like these silk wide leg trouser pants, with like a one piece, underneath. The thing I don't like about dresses is that they're not as versatile. I mean, they can be. Some dresses can be very versatile. The other thing I'm a big fan of dresses is that they're not super functional. When you'll definitely see me wearing a dress is the day I get invited to the Met Gala. Her next question is, do you wear high heels? I do, and I love high heels. In the last couple years, being a mom, I probably don't wear them as much, just practicality-wise. I definitely am excited for the day that I have more excuses to wear heels. I kind of feel like I need to just be like Carrie Bradshaw though, and just like wear heels when I'm like running errands with like a cute pair of jeans and t-shirt. I should just get on board with that, right? Her last question is your husband British? And the answer is yes. My husband is from England. He's from a city called Worcester, pretty close to Birmingham, you know, Peaky Blinders. And yeah, all of his family still lives back there, so we visit there all the time. All right, our last bunch of questions is from Sherry Moore. And her first question is, who is your celebrity fashion icon? Oof, that is a really good question. Lume also asked this question, but since they both asked it, I just combined it. One of the people I absolutely love, I don't know if she's technically considered a fashion icon, but I just absolutely love her steez, is Diane Keaton. And I just love her as an actress. I will see any movie with her in it. I just love her like signature style. Her hat game is on another level. Her next question is, how did you meet your husband? I met Paul about 4 years into moving to California. I actually met him when I was unemployed. We actually met at a party in Laguna Beach, California. My best friend at the time had a boyfriend who was also a good friend of mine, and he invited me to go to this party with him where a guy that he worked with was, with a bunch of English guys. And I think he was trying to cheer me up because I was a bit crushed by the guy I had been dating, and but I was just like, nah, like the last thing I needed is a bunch of charmers, you know. But anyways, brought me to this party and introduced me to Paul. And yeah, it's funny now looking back at it because I can still remember one of the first things he said to me. We were introduced, and then he asked me if I wanted a drink, and I said, well, what do you have? And he's like, well, I'm drinking a Spaten. And I'm like, oh, well, that's one of my favorite beers. And so then he cheers me and said, well, then we're going to be very good friends. Little did he know that we were. Okay. Ooh, this is a really good question. How do you pick the music for your videos? So I'm sure you can guess that I love music at this point. I've always been just into everything, and I'm definitely eclectic in my music taste as well. But I've always had this thing where I've listened to music and I can visualize certain things. Like I can almost visualize like a story to the music. So when I started making videos, it was like an addiction to me to have that musicality with my editing. So it was kind of a bummer when I realized that how gnarly the copyright issues are and how gnarly it is to get like licensing for when you actually are producing a proper video. So I actually would hunt for music on SoundCloud and use artists that worked under the Creative Commons licensing, which is basically just you can use their music for free as long as you share the link to their music. And I have a few artists that I use on a regular basis that I just love. Yeah, like Sapakash and Diala. Then I came across Epidemic Sound, which is an amazing website for creators. where they just have like a lot of good music that you can use, and you can just basically get an umbrella licensing account where you just pay a fee every month and can use all their music. And then the one that I just recently came across is Push Audio, and they create all of their music in-house, and they're just starting out. They're still in their beta phase, but I love their stuff because they're creating stuff with people like me in mind that want that song for like a video montage or just a good power boss song. Music will always be a priority for my videos, always. All right, and her last question, which will be the last question for today, is there anything missing from your wardrobe that you would love to add? I can tell you exactly the item that I want, that I'm missing and that I want in my wardrobe, and that is a Curate duster cardigan. I have been trying to get one of these for so long. They are a pretty penny, so we shall see. But I just love the drama of these cardigans. If you haven't seen them, they're basically just super long cardigans, and they're usually like really chunky and just cozy, and then have these amazing knitted designs on them. And yes, like I need one. So if anybody knows anybody at Tickled, let them know that they need to send me one to do a review. I've been on it. I've been after them for a while, but I don't know. Haven't heard anything yet, so we'll see. But yeah, you guys, I think that is it. That is it for today's Q&A. Yes. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will be doing this again. This time I will be posting this so it's actually on Thirsty Thursday, so we can enjoy our drink together. I will be posting the next Thirsty Thursday Q&A on the second Thursday of the month in August. So make sure that if you have some questions that you would like me to answer in that video, that you comment below, or you can shoot me a message on Instagram. And thank you to everybody that sent me the questions for today's video. I had so much fun answering them, and I hope that you enjoyed hearing my answers. Yeah. Okay, so with that, you guys, I hope that you've had a good week, and are having a drink. So with that, you know what to do. If you liked today's episode, give me that thumbs up, comment below, share with friends, and subscribe for future weekly episodes. All right, you guys have a good, safe, healthy rest of your week, and we will be chatting soon. Bye.